We're in our second season now, and we've already got a chance to seek some retribution for last season. Let's see if we can do it. Hello and welcome to Gone on Holiday, the playthrough where we're of course playing as Harchester United. So this is season 2. We of course won our first game against Leicester 4-2 with Luis Rodriguez, who missed the back end of last season. Man of the match there with 2 goals. Today's episode we have Brighton at home, and then the retribution I was talking about being Liverpool at Anfield. So it's going to be tricky. But yeah, we've got some revenge to exact on them from last season. Before we continue, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really does help the channel. And again, if you want to be named as one of the youth players, please do drop me a comment. Reach out on socials. We've got some really good youth prospects coming through, and like we always say, we can't sign anyone on this save, so we really are just depending on those youth team players coming through. So, team selection for that game against Brighton, very much business as usual. It's the same starting 11 that faced Leicester, but we do have Baptiste coming in instead of Pegsy at complete left wing back. The bench is pretty much as you would imagine, the likes of Moliano, Mackay, Rose, the usual suspects. Lopez is also on there as well. Nothing else really to report. Matthew Morey got injured in the under-18s midweek, so he will be missing out. We've got Casper Rose, we've got Kovac still knocking around as well. And we've gone for Diop on the bench instead of Futcher and Ryan Martin, I guess, just simply because he can play centre midfield as well, or anchor man. So really useful to have on the bench as well. So we still haven't had any draws for the Carabao Cup, which of course we've been set the challenge to win a domestic cup this season. We did check, and it can be either the Carabao Cup or it can be the FA Cup. If we get another draw like we did last season in the FA Cup, there's probably no reason why we can't go on to at least get into the very late stages. So I'm thinking semi-final as a minimum. But we would like to right some of the wrongs from last season, especially as it ended so, I was gonna say bitterly, but it was just very flat, wasn't it? It was a very flat finish. Much was pretty much the back end of our whole season. So it'd be nice to actually turn up in one of those cup finals, and we're starting to spray the ball around, which is good to see. Brighton at home, definitely a game where we're looking at 3 points. We did drop a couple of points against these kind of teams last season. If I'm honest, it was towards the back end of the season, so I think we drew 2 in a row with like Fulham, Crystal Palace maybe. Then obviously the defeat against Villa, and Moody puts us a goal ahead. So basically what I'm saying is we cannot afford that this season whatsoever. If we can make sure we're not slipping up against these types of teams, and then just make sure our record is better than it was last season, which isn't hard, against the bigger teams, then we should be okay. That's not what I meant to do actually, is it? I meant to put Mackay in. I'm hoping that doesn't use 2 substitutions. It shouldn't really. But yeah, Danny Sullivan picking up a knock there, which isn't great. Sabatia's gone out to play right wing back, which again, no problems with him doing. Mackay coming in, it doesn't weaken us at all. Baptiste back, picks out Naismith at the near post, and he slots home. We do have a week off. It's offside. We do have a week off before that Liverpool game at Anfield, so we don't need to be watching fitness too much. It is the start of the season. I don't think we had the best pre-season simply because of all the international football. Most of our team play for England now, which is really annoying for us. Great for England and great for the players, but for us, being really selfish, it's not great. And Neil came back pretty tired. And if I'm totally honest, I was kind of just clicking away throughout the summer. We can't sign anyone, so I'm a little bit just kind of left everything. And then realised we had about 2 weeks left of pre-season, and none of our players were all that match sharp. And of course we gave players like Stone, Davenport some time off. Naismith had 2 weeks off. So if we can pick up points whilst not being particularly match sharp, I think that does speak volumes about how good this team is. Going in 2-0 before the break would be nice, but it's not going to happen, is it? Baptiste struggling as well. I think he was playing in the Olympics, so a lot of our players just all over the place, really, which is, again, that the grueling season we had. We can't bring anyone in. Rotation is probably something that we need to consider more this season. Yes, we did. Well, when we rotated, we dropped a lot of points. The Villa game, again, haunts me. But it's just us dropping like 3 or 4 players. And if we can't do that against teams like Villa, I think that speaks volumes about our squad. We have doubled our lead. Carl Fletcher, who has been subject to interest from Manchester United this week. That's a new one. They put an offer in for Stone pre-season, which again was embarrassing because I think it was about 30 mil, which wasn't great. Now, who am I looking at? Casper Rose for Carl Fletcher. And let's bring Naismith off as well. Brave, but again, we're trying to keep these players. We're thinking about the back end of this season where we struggled last season. Let's try and do the looking after players now, so we're not in another position like we were last season. Brighton haven't created much, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to concede late goals, because we tend to do that quite often. You only have to flick back to last episode and the Leicester game for that one. But there's 10 minutes left. We've used all our subs actually, haven't we? Because Gavin Moody's just dropped down to red. Because Danny Sullivan picked up that injury. Not very helpful. He's very versatile and a cracking player as well, so that does not help. Lamptey playing at left back. Gives the ball away to Moody. Breaking forward, that was pretty wild. That was an 89th minute shot, if ever I've seen one. And yeah, pretty routine. Could have been nice to pick up a few more goals for. But at least we're not dealing with the bad goal difference like we had last season. Although we do have to play Liverpool next, so let's not count our chickens too soon. And yeah, confirmation that we are playing at St James's Park this season. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but also that Solskjaer is watching. Carl Fletcher and Luke Davenport. I didn't know about the Davenport one. So let me go through all the pressers. We'll do another week. It is still transfer window, so we're trying to loan players out, and we're also pretty much just trying to fend anyone off who's showing any kind of interest in our players. So bear with me and we'll get on to that game at Anfield. Okay, so it's time for the Liverpool game. We've got the opposition instructions list as long as your arm. We know they're a good team. We know they're a bit overpowered, but let's see what we can do. Team news is Sabati is going to go play out on wing back, and Mackay is going to come and play box to box, which leaves Sullivan, who did pick up an injury, but he seems to have shook it off. I think taking him off straight away was pretty much the right thing to do there. Everything else is as usual. Valentine's come back from his injury and takes his place on the bench for sulky Liam Mullins, whose stats aren't great, but we do lack kind of someone who can sit in behind the striker. and can play out on that wing. Otherwise, we'd probably just let him go. But I'm also looking at his potential 3.5 stars. So I'm trying to kind of make him not upset and want to stay, but also at the same time, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But we do need the youth team wingers and shadow strikers coming through. We did have a little bit of a revelation, actually. I found a right wing back who I think I'd missed. It is Michael Dillon, who, excited about him coming through. We do have Bennett, of course. I don't want to submit my team just yet. We do have Bennett, of course, who can play right back as well, but he's not a wing back. Some good stats, but all our wing backs at the moment seem to be missing this crossing and dribbling, which it's killing us. Even Baptiste on the other side doesn't have it, and he's one of our more steady performers as well. So it's something that we need to look at, and we try and get our players in training to get better at that, but chances are if they're 21 years old already and only got 6 crossing, you're not going to be able to make it too much better than that. So team news, Liverpool signed Alaba. Great, good for them. They've got Lautaro Martinez up front, which does mean Firmino's not playing, which is, again, good for us, but I'm sure Martinez is just as capable, and I'm sure we're about to find that out right now. I think this game today is the do or die for whether or not we can get away with keeping this 4-2-3-1 system against these bigger teams, because more often than not, we don't perform with them. But if we can make a statement for this season that says we're going to keep playing our formation, and again, I don't like it when we play around with it at the back against Liverpool. Anyone else is fine. Against Liverpool, I have flashbacks, and that's why. Mackay wins it back. That's what he's in there to do today. I thought Davenport may have got a little bit of a push there, but we're playing on the world's longest highlight. We could have probably just started from here, and Salah's in, and Salah makes no slip up there as he pops it in the side netting. So 1-0. Same old. It's come from Davenport not being able to get on the end of that Rodriguez through ball. Rodriguez wins it for Fletcher. Fletcher takes it past Van Dijk, who gets back and makes a good tackle. We could pretty much do with him turning up this game. Like we said all last season, his stats are really good. His forms and ratings are always really good, but a bit like Davenport, when we need them, games like this, we don't tend to hear too much from them. So let's see if we can win this back from Mane, who is just dribbling about 50 yards. We do get it back with Fletcher. Picks out Davenport out to Rodriguez, taking on his man. Naismith's back post if he can get it in. Matip clears. Mackay and Moody, good work between the two there. Our wing backs are nice and high. Slotted it through to Davenport. Is the assistant. He is staying still. I know I say this all the time, we get so many offside goals, but it seems to happen a lot against Liverpool and City, really. Let's see if we can demand more. Everyone's happy by that. The difference between this game and a lot of other games against Liverpool is we do look a bit threatening. We do look a bit threatening, not crazy threatening, but we've created some chances, and once again we've got another offside goal. Davenport can't get on the end. That usually means Liverpool are going to mount an attack. No one seems to want to pick up Salah or Mane. Salah dances past 3 or 4 of our players. Pops it into the wrong side of the side netting this time. Trent is not doing too much damage. It's more Salah and Mane who, again, we let run riot. Moody wins it back with Fletcher and he's able to bring up the field. And a pretty routine save from Alisson. We are getting a bit of a rivalry now with these guys. I must admit they are the bane of my save so far. Man City, yeah, fair enough, but Liverpool, there's just something about the way they play we just can't seem to handle. Mackay picks it up in centre midfield, gives it to Naismith, picks out Fletcher again, dispossessed. And again, they're looking wide to new signing Alba. Mane's having another one of his dribbles. Davenport isn't going to win too much in the air against the two centre-backs, but it was Fabinho actually won that one there. Baptiste gets sat down for probably the first time I've ever seen. And something went down there. And it's his first goal. Literally so happy for him. And once again, unless we score here, we are going to be struggling. Stone absolutely smashes one in. And we finally get our goal. Reminded me of the Conlon goal from back in the last season. I can't remember who that was against. Second to last game, West Brom maybe. But good that they can chip in. We do need goals from all over the pitch, especially when Davenport, Fletcher don't seem to be doing it. Let's see if we can Let's see if we can cheer people up with the old "I've got faith in you." We've got faith in everyone. We have to. They're not going anywhere, so we need to work out how we get a tune out of these players. We're coming up to 60 minutes. Baptiste is knackered. Let's see if we can get Pegsy on. He's on a booking as well. Pegsy's on. Moody's booked, but don't particularly want to take him off. Mackay, who he's 2.5 star rating. I think his stats are really good. Sullivan is 3 star, even as box to box. I don't see it myself, but let's freshen those legs up in centre midfield. We'll see if we can get a little bit more from the boys. Who's got it? Liverpool have got it. Switch it to Alexander-Arnold. Pegsy cuts it out. He's just on. Fresh legs. Fletcher back to Pegsy. Naismith needs to do a Mane, or he can pick out Davenport, who dinks it over the goalkeeper. It's not offside, and we are back in the game. We don't need Naismith to do a Mane and run and skin however many players. If he wants to carry on picking out balls like that, that's fine. There is 15 minutes left. We've got a corner. Naismith at the front post. Okay, so don't panic. Naismith puts us 3-2 up. I don't particularly want to change too much here. That puts us top of the league. And there is a highlight which I'm going to have to play out before I make any decisions here. We've gone long. Davenport's been picked out. Breaking into the box and side netting. So, boys and girls, what do we do here? Do we take Moody off, who is literally head and shoulders above our midfielders, who's booked and tired, or do we go with Fletcher and bring in someone like Tommy Valentine, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Valentine come in here and make that midfield 3. I'll leave the wingers on attack, and Moody can still deep line play make. Valentine, I kind of want him to be a ball winning midfielder. Let's put him in there as that anyway. Sullivan can stay box to box. We'll put him down to balanced. I would say positive, but and let's see if we can. I mean, Moody's a bit moody. Let's try and encourage us, see if that has the desired effect. It doesn't. We're entering into stoppage time now. Looks like Liverpool had a corner. We had a corner, and that is game set. The tactic works. It was fine. We had to go 2-0 down for it to work. Good performance. I mean, would we have preferred that last season? Yeah. But also, it's a new season, newfound belief. We're top of the league. We can play that system. That has proved it now. We can play the system. We know how to beat them. And you can tell I'm pretty speechless. Happy with that. Good way to sign off the episode. Hopefully we'll have the Carabao Cup draw, but more importantly, the first Champions League draw to confirm. I'm hoping next episode. So do stick around for that. It's going to be our first season there. Quite nervous, just simply because we can't do Tuesday, Saturday. We struggle. So I fully expect the wheels to come off at some point. But until then, we're top of the league. We've just beat Liverpool, and happy days. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next episode.